Hi, everybody. How you feeling out there? Yeah, what a day, huh? My name's Seth Bernard. I'm the co-executive director of Title Track. Honored to be a partner here. I have just a little bit of housekeeping before I share a few things. The groundwork booth is going to be doing some interviews with folks. Jeff Smith, wonderful communications director, who's been a big part of the organizing team here, is just asking people to share a few words about the day. And this is a wonderful way for us to spread what's been happening here. It's amazing that more people attended this event virtually than in person. And with the content that we're creating and the feedback that you'll give via video, we'll be able to continue to spread the information and the enthusiasm. And I also just want to mention that part of why we dedicate ourselves to this is everything that we've experienced up till now. And then another big part of it is what's about to happen, the reception, which gives you all a chance to connect with one another. And this cross pollination is truly the antidote for this despair that all of us know well, right? This anxiety. And so knowing each other, to me, I was raised with this Aldo Leopold quote: "The naturalist lives alone in a world of wounds." But we're not alone here. And so we're going to have some fun. We're going to have some food, beverages, music, and it'll give us a chance to meet each other. So do us all a favor and meet someone that you don't already know in the next couple hours. All right. So much has been shared today, and I reflected on what I might have to contribute. And I'm going to be honest, the thinking about what to say brought me to tears the first couple times I sat down to write. And a lot of people talk about doom and gloom, that's kind of the catchphrase. And what came to me is bottomless grief. And I think all of us in some way or another have had to live with that, right? And we have our own personal trauma that we carry with us and we try to work with and we try to heal. And then we have the grief that comes with loving the earth and wanting a better future for our children. And I think that it's easy for us to kind of slip into this mentality that our movement is rooted in fear for the future, right? And rooted in this sort of ache and this ick and this sickness that we see in the world. And for me, when I get deeper into my grief and allow myself to feel it, I also feel that the reason I'm in this movement is because of love, because of the love in my heart and the dedication that I have to healing in my community and in my own heart. And so what helps me when I face this existential dread and this feeling of doom and gloom is to keep returning to love and to keep coming back to how much love I have to give to this movement and how I want to show up for the children in my life. And grieving is a huge part of that. And so, we don't live alone in a world of wounds. We have people that we can grieve with. We can bring our burdens down to the water. And it is so important that we grieve. It's so important that we do our own healing and to dedicate ourselves to healing our trauma so we don't bring more trauma into the movement and create these trauma vortexes that cause more harm. And so we all have our lives to live and we all have our love to give. And we all have the capacity to widen our circles of compassion. And that was something that Albert Einstein asked us to do as humanity, just begged us to widen our circles of compassion. And it's not actually that hard, because when you do sit down face to face with someone, when you sit across the table with someone, when you have the opportunity to look into someone's eyes for a while, it's hard not to love people. We're wired that way. It's the best of who we are. Our hearts go out to those in need. And so, I just want to give you an action item, and that's just to love people relentlessly and to change the systems, reform the systems, build new systems. But to remember that, everyone is worthy of love. People that we disagree with vehemently they still have that basic goodness and that inner child within them. And it's up to all of us to bring us to a better place. And so the honey in our hearts, we can let it flow, and it can pick up speed. For me, another thing that's been really important is to have some tools for my own personal resilience, and some tools that bring me joy and that bring me wellness no matter what's going on. And mindfulness practice is one of those things. Even if I only have a moment, I remember the words of Thich Nhat Hanh, who passed away this year, the Vietnamese Zen monk. Breathing in, I am a mountain. Breathing out, I feel solid. That helps me reestablish some solidity when I'm feeling really shaky. Or breathing in, I'm a flower. Breathing out, I feel fresh, just to freshen things up. And to go back to our hearts, to breathe into the area of our hearts and to think of something that we love. And for me, I think of my daughter. I think of my grandmother. I think of the Manistee River. I think of this birch tree on the farm where I grew up, or this beech tree. And all of us can do that. And it takes a moment just to become coherent again. And we have to keep returning to love, returning to coherence. And it's good because our movement is heart-centered and our work is healing-centered. And I am so fortunate to be surrounded by strong women in leadership. And this organization, this whole event was organized by women. And my life has just gotten so much better the more I have supported BIPOC leadership, the more I have supported women in leadership, the more I have had the honor of working with frontline BIPOC organizers and working with women in this movement. And, staying curious is something for me, just to sort of remember that when I feel a sense of darkness sort of fall over me, looking into the future, I try to stay curious about what my part might be and how things might unfold, rather than projecting that fear into the future. Staying curious and staying dedicated. And remembering that there are people in my life that I trust my life with. And there are a bunch of those people here today. And I thank you for your work. And I thank you for staying in your heart and staying rooted in love through all these years. And, together we have a lot of really important work to do. And that work is continuing here together today. As we talk about the women who organized this event, along with a couple of us fellas, there's also been some changes in leadership here that have underscored this organizing and also provided some interesting challenges. And I think we've all been resilient ourselves in finding ways to transition and to adapt. And it gives me great honor to present to you the new director of the Michigan Climate Action Network. So please give a warm welcome and get ready to receive a beloved member of our community, Denise Keel.